All right, everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Vertical Play podcast. I am joined here by my co-host, Tawny Lamb, and I am
Hello.
Mopsky. This week, we are going to go over our predictions from last week for USN. We're going to go over the NA Shuffle. That's kind of what's going on past USN, past the LAN. Give our rankings there. There's been an update to the Pro League for North America and EU, which we're going to cover as well. There's also been a leak on what the invitational event's going to be, so we're going to talk about that map, and besides that, maybe a couple other things, but by the end. But let's go ahead and fire right into the USN predictions, because I think we're going to spend most of our time there. As you can see, I am not eating a tomato this week.
You are not. Nah, I wish you were.
No,
but you are not.
no. Listen. I was a little worried there for a second, but they pulled out at the end. So let's go over the matches and everything. Which is the unfortunate part was I wasn't able to watch as much of the games as I thought I would be able to. So I'm gonna let Don pretty much take over for at least the map overviews. I've seen bits and pieces, so I can add my opinions certain places. But we'll let Don take over here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was lucky and unlucky enough to be able to actually watch all of it because I was homesick / iced in. So I was able to sit down and actually watch a lot of it. So for the first map we had Sonics versus Tempo Storm.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
It was actually a good match. It went 2 maps. So first map was Border. It went 8-7 on Sonics. We both predicted Sonics would win this, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I feel like I slept on Sonics a bit. They definitely performed well. The bands were kind of weird. Some of their choices I thought were odd. Like at one point, so on Border, they banned Buck, but they didn't take advantage of that defending Armory wall. So they didn't take like a Cade or a Bandit. They just played a mute, even though they knew that that vertical pressure wasn't going to necessarily be there. And then the second map was Clubhouse. They won 8-7. The big theme for me on invitationals was really all the maps were so damn close for the most part. We'll get there when it's the ones that's not. But really, day one was nonstop 8-7s, lots of action.
And that's what I was hearing too.
Yeah.
Man, with the Sonics, it's like I wasn't able to watch that match specifically, but I wasn't that was like the least match I was interested in watching. It's like
Yeah.
Tempo Storm's brand new to Pro League, so they're not gonna I didn't expect them to put up a big fight, and it's the Sonics we're talking about. Like, it's a meme to shit on Super. So
Yeah, and the whole time the catchers were talking about all the bad blood, and this was like such an intense match to watch. I mean, I'm not lying. I really didn't care too much. Speaking of Super, though, he played some Mira with the pistol and no shotgun.
I heard about that. It just seems like, honestly, for this whole event, and I did get to watch one game. Who did Sonics play next? I'm trying to think. It was Space Station, right? I watched like the first map of that.
Yeah, they played Space Station.
Yeah, I watched the first map of that, and the Sonics didn't show up. Like, against Tempo Storm, like, of course they have a little bit of tenure, but I just didn't expect too much. It doesn't seem like they practiced much. If Super's pulling out a pistol on Mira, like, what does that say to me? It means I'm not using my shotgun in regular play. So that just means he's memeing. I don't know. It just didn't seem like they took it very seriously.
Yeah, and obviously I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming they log in with their normal account, so they should have all of their settings set up, all their operator loadouts ahead of time, I would think.
That's what as far as I understand, that's what they do.
Yeah. I wasn't super stoked about that matchup. I did watch it though. I will say Goddess like had a really good clutch. I think it was like the last round of the series on Clubhouse. She got the last 2 kills to clinch it, 8-7. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it was a standout performance from her either. But
that's really the only reason why I care about the Sonics is Goddess. Like, I just want Goddess to win something.
Yeah, well, and I guess we may. Oh, we'll get there too. But yeah, like I definitely like Goddess a lot, and I think the determination she's shown. I mean, relegation. I'm gonna fight my ass back in.
Right.
relegation again. I'm going to go to USN and make it farther than EG did. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there might be some updates to that, but we'll talk about that later. So
that's what I was alluding to and then caught myself because I was like, we'll
gotcha.
get there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Let's
yeah,
talk about the next
yeah.
match.
So the next match of the day we had was Dark Zero and SSG. Yeah. My predictions all fell flat. Like really,
Mhm.
for the most part, all of my predictions fell flat. I have learned I am not very good at forecasting who's going to win these matches.
Hey,
Or
you
it
can
just
never be
shows,
as bad as Caliber Jacob.
or it just shows, I guess, the caliber that is in the esports scene now. I
Mhm.
mean, it's either that I suck really bad at predicting these, or all the teams on any given day, any team could win.
I think predictions are hard. Especially with single elimination, predictions get even harder. But I think also you're correct in saying like the competition seems to be rising overall. I think we can definitely see that when we watch G2, which we'll also talk about later. But like competition is getting to a level where there aren't really dominant teams. And I think you're right. However, I don't think it gives an excuse to Dark Zero, who spent all this time and they were like the big pickups, right? Like they picked up the biggest players and then they just fall flat. I don't even know how individual performances don't win this out. I really don't.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it was rough. So like the maps broke out like one. Man, I'm brain farting so bad. One possible issue would have was map selection. So I remember Dark Zero selected Coastline, and I'm pretty sure their record on Coastline is not stellar. Space Station chose Villa, and then Decider was Consulate. They got handed 7-3 on Coastline by Space Station.
That sounds about
So
right.
they may have
Because like
lost on map picks.
back in Japan, Coastline was not their best map.
Yeah.
Not their best map at all. So I mean, yes, it's map pick, but also like we are talking about some new players. I mean, and BC is also coaching, so I don't know. Maybe it's just not enough time. Maybe we haven't given the roster enough time, but I still say like it's a pretty weak performance for all the talent that's there.
Yeah. Now that last round on Villa, if anyone hasn't seen it, go back and watch. Like, I mean, the whole map of Villa was really good. It went 8-7, but that
Mm-hmm.
last round, those last like 20 seconds were crazy. I also noticed on Villa, Dark Zero was playing lots of unconventional sites. They played library and kitchen many times before going upstairs on Villa.
Hmm.
I don't know if they had some sort of strat in mind for it. It didn't pay off though because Space Station's attacks were solid. Both teams
Interesting.
brought a lot of Dokkaebi. I noticed was interesting. We saw a lot of Dokkaebi at USN.
That's so weird because like going back to OGA Pit of last week, there wasn't much Dokkaebi at all. Like at all.
No.
So I wonder if there's like a counter strat they were running specifically against each other as teams. Because there has to be, right? Like that's the only thing that really makes sense there. But I do find it very impressive that Space Station came in so dominant. My webcam's flashing. Hello, sir. That SSG came in so dominant even after coming back from OGA Pit. I expected them to be tired. I expected them to have some issues, but no, I don't. Not at all. I think they came in swinging.
Yeah. They were scary.
Were scary for sure. They were the force to reckon with, really.
Yeah. Their attacks were all super. So both maps against Dark Zero, they were 4-2 at the switch on attack. So I mean, their attacks were just spot on. It was good. Yeah, I was really impressed with Space Station throughout this entire event.
I heard Bosco was nuts. I did get to see him play in a couple maps, and that was pretty nutty.
Yeah, he was nutty, and so was. I'm trying to go back. So for any of you wondering, I took like 5 pages of notes. So I'm trying to go back into my notes.
The analyst here.
I tried.
I'm here. I'm here getting drunk on the weekend.
I tried, man. I tried to prepare. I don't know if it's paying off, but I guess that's to be determined. Fultz was killing it throughout, and I have some notes on him later. But yeah, it was the whole roster, and you gotta love Canadian for finally getting something worthwhile.
Yep.
But
of course.
So I know I predicted Dark Zero to win that match.
I think I did too. I think I said that Raw Talent would bring it out and that Space Station would come back tired. So I think that kind of screwed us both over with predictions.
Yeah, no, it did. I remember after day one, my entire bracket was just kaputs.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that takes us on to which it was Rec versus
Luminosity.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Which was actually a really good match. I did not expect a lot out of Luminosity. It was besides the finals, it was the only match to go to map 3. All the other ones were 2-0s, except for the final, which was a 3-0. It went Clubhouse, Villa, Border. Reciprocity looked scary. Like they looked really good.
Yep.
My notes literally say here 5-1 at split, half for Reciprocity. Cheeks have been clapped. And then on the next map, I wrote down who's clapping whose cheeks because Luminosity went 6-1. And then,
wow.
and then Reciprocity caught up and it ended up being 8-7 Luminosity. But it was an intense match. Luminosity, though, like they weren't shooting out default cameras throughout all of Clubhouse, like round after round. And there's actually some frags that would not have happened if they shot out the damn default cameras. Like there was at least 2 where like they, Reciprocity just got on the cameras like, oh, the default's still there. There's someone there. Hop out and get them. That's like a rookie mistake. Yeah, it was really odd to see that.
Especially if they're coming in so dominant. Like, I don't know. You would think that would get covered. Interesting.
You would think so. But again, this like highlights just the intensity of so Villa map 2 was 6-1 Luminosity, and then Reciprocity ends up bringing it back 6 rounds in a row, and then Luminosity wins 8-7. So the whole event, you have these nonstop back and forth, really heated matches.
I think Luminosity is really shaping up to be an interesting team to watch this season. From what we saw in OGA Pit with them making it past the quarterfinals, and then also having them put up such a good showing against Rec, which Rec did look scary. I think I watched most of this game, the Luminosity versus Rec game, and Rec looked scary. Like they looked absolutely dominant. There was just moments where I watched the Rec versus TSM, and like I thought TSM looked good, but Rec looked better, like so much better. Like of course, like I'm a bit of a TSM show when it comes to NA. I really think those young guys can pull out. When's Bolo playing? But I don't know. Like I was scared for them. I was like, damn, like they were just launching out of stuff. They held their defense was incredible, and Rec looked good. But I think Luminosity is going to be something to watch because it's kind of a TSM story where it's like a bunch of really young players that just picked up someone with extreme talent and experience in the game. So I think TSM and Luminosity are my teams to watch for this season. But as far as USN goes, Luminosity looked good. They looked good, and they put up a good fight. But I think Rec looked scary.
They did. And they did. They kind of like faltered out on day 3. But even day 2, like you were saying, the TSM match, Vert was insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. On Bank, he was pulling it out. I mean,
it's so crazy that Vert can make that good of a move into Reciprocity, but then like you've got what was it, Skies and Eclipse that are in Dark Zero now, and they just, where were they?
I mean, Dark Zero was, I don't want to. I don't have any insider knowledge. I don't know, but it was so bad that Bacon's like, I'm not going to be the coach at LAN anymore. I mean,
yeah,
he hasn't left,
I saw that on Twitter.
But he's like, maybe I shouldn't be shot calling anymore.
Yep. So BC is going to be standing behind him now.
Yeah. Which, I mean, who knows? Maybe that decision was already kind of in the works, but the timing was literally they lose their match. He gets on Twitter and shoots this out. I mean, it kind of seems like that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is there.
Yeah.
We'll go over that later. We got a segment on that. So let's go into our last round for day 1.
So it was EG TSM. So as sad as I was that EG didn't win, they gave TSM a run for their money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disappointed with how they performed, honestly. Like it was definitely obviously I wish they won, but the first map was 8-7 for TSM. It was 3-3 at the split. And then the second map was 8-6. Yeah, it was very close the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun because you kind of had the whole mind game because each team has insider knowledge on the other team now, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's what I thought was kind of interesting. An interesting storyline to pull from it. I don't know. Like I said, EG could have put up a good fight, but like I said, TSM looked good. They did look good, and they looked well put together. And I think they're heading the right direction with Geo on the team.
Yeah. I mean, Gotcha didn't perform poorly for. I'm not sure it was a fair trade, but Gotcha didn't exactly perform poorly. There was a really funny play on Bank where TSM did a 4-man drop into the lockers or like that bottom side on Bank.
I think I saw this.
It was humorous. So they just dropped in like hot.
They dropped an elevator, didn't they?
I think it was right outside of when you come into garage, that hatch.
Oh, okay.
I think they just dropped it and just split up and just like tore up.
That's nuts. Well, I remember seeing somebody dropped Vault Hatch in one round and really destroyed them from the back there. I think it was Bolo, if I remember correctly. Because I did watch, now that I'm thinking about it, I did watch part of the Evil Geniuses versus TSM as well. Excuse me. Yeah. And I don't think it, like, maybe EG isn't nearly as bad as I thought they would be. It was just weird. It was very weird because you expect seeing a lot of really young faces on TSM and Luminosity, but there's a lot of young people on EG too. Like I didn't realize how young looks. You know, like it felt strange because in the past you'd be used to people like Canadian and even farther back you've got BC, right? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't look like the same team, just from the look of it. I mean, that's just like the visual image of it. It's interesting, different.
I mean, they lost their face. I mean, everyone kind of viewed Canadian as like the leader, the face of the team.
Yeah. And now, like, he's not really even the face of SSG. He's kind of taken a background spot. I'd say Bosco is more the face of SSG than anyone.
Yeah. Mo Digga played well.
Yeah, he did.
He played well.
From what I saw.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to day 2.
So I gotta be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of day 2. I had stuff going on. I'm trying to prepare for the holidays. I do know it was.
I was hungover as fuck.
Well, we both have excuses then, so that works well.
Yeah.
So I know we had Sonics and SSG. I did not even watch a single bit of it. I checked in throughout the day just on the score. And Sonics lost. I think it was 2-0.
They lost like handedly. Like it was just they got just demolished and crushed. As far as I could see the score, like it's just it almost didn't matter. Like I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. I mean, you were fighting the best team clearly there, so
yeah, it's a tough one. And then you had TSM versus Reciprocity. Reciprocity won. I didn't watch all of it, but I did see that crazy play. Man, now I'm burping too, man. Shit. I did see that crazy play from Bert though on Bank where he held down Archives. It was impressive. It's a good play. I think he got like a 4K there. Yeah, all I wrote down for that match was just damn Bert. That's all I wrote down. I didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you're, just as a quick side note, I don't know if you're familiar with the app Strafe, but I'm really kind of loving it. It's like a mobile version of Liquipedia. It keeps track of, it's like a snapshot of everything that happens. So it tells me like the 2 games was 3-7, top SSG, and then 7-5. So,
and then just Rainbow Six specific?
It's esports. It's got Rainbow Six, but it covers a lot of esports. Yeah, it's been super helpful. It tells you what players were there, what tournament it was in, and then who the winner was. There's statistics and stuff too here. So I don't know. We're not paid, but yeah, you'll have to check that app out. Anyway, Yeah,
shout
I
out
don't
to
think
Strafe.
there's. Yeah,
Download
exactly.
the app
I don't
in your
think.
app store.
Yeah, on iOS and Android. I don't really think there's much to say about this match. We didn't expect Sonics to go far, and they didn't. They didn't get very far at all. Super still can't win shit, so fuck you, Super.
Yeah. All right then. So
So there we go.
yeah, and I mean, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say about TSM reciprocity or
I know we
Sonic's
covered it.
SSG?
Just to say, like, the TSM reciprocity matches, even though, let me see how many rounds. Oh man, reciprocity kind of spanked them. I thought TSM was looking good, and they were actually the vote to win. It looks like the TSM was the vote to win, but Rec was scary, like very scary. Like I said, that bank match, they were popping in and out. They were running back and forth. They were all over the place, and I was impressed. Very impressed. I think Rec looks good, and we'll probably talk about it next. But
Yeah, what the hell
like
happened
Rec,
to that?
yeah, Rec looked good. Day 1, day 2, Rec scary. Day 3, not so much.
No
So
clue
we
what
can-
happened there.
We can kind of transition into that next match.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean, I guess we could briefly touch on. I actually watched a little bit of the Creator Show match.
Mhm.
It was kind of fun. It was fun to watch.
I watched a
There's
bit of the army match, the final. That was an interesting idea. I actually really liked that, where they had the mini bracket go on there.
Yeah. Did you watch the Creator Show match at all?
Mm-mm.
It was fun. There was lots of Tachanka. The
Good.
first map was all vanilla operators, which was kind of fun. It was a
Yeah,
good time.
yeah. I think that's important. I heard somebody say, can't remember where, but like it was probably Twitter, say that creator show matches should be memes. Like they should we watch these creators. I know some of them we watch for like actual gameplay, but like we've just watched 8 teams do the best that they can possibly do. It's like just pull out Tachanka, like pull some memes, like try some crazy stuff, jump from buildings, do something insane. Because we're watching all these other teams, and I think that they did, as far as I've heard, they did a pretty good showing here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was good. Okay, so then we have the grand final, Reciprocity Space Station. Yeah, dude.
Where was
I
Rec?
don't know.
where was
I don't
Rec?
know if it's I don't know if it's that Space Station was killing it and was doing so well, or if Reciprocity just didn't show up. Maybe they left their like power shoes at home. I know their shoe game is always on point, but maybe they just
They
left
said
them at
on
home.
Twitter to watch their shoes.
Those
left
boys
their
spend way
lucky-
too much damn money on shoes. They need to start saving up for their like IRAs. Or I say that like I have a freaking IRA, but you know what I mean.
right. They forgot to bring
Um,
their lucky Gucci. That's all.
Yeah, they were not on fleek in this match. I don't even know what that means, but they were not there.
Yeah.
They lost. Yeah, I mean, match point came at 6-2. They lost 7-2 on the first map on Clubhouse, which I think was their pick. I think
So they lost.
the
their
bans
own
were weird
pick.
too. Yeah, they banned Buck, and then SSG banned Ash. First time I've seen Ash banned at a big event. It was Buck, Ash, Falcon, Mira were the bans.
For the
Mira
first
and Buck-
map,
Yeah, for Clubhouse.
target banning. They had to have been, right?
I
Had to have been.
guess. Yeah,
I mean, there's no reason to ban Ash if you're not target banning somebody.
I wouldn't think so. So who on Reciprocity
Hmm.
was that targeted at? I mean, do they have someone who's known to be a no-brain Ash main? I don't know.
Nyx played it a lot. Maybe they were targeting Nyx. Because he was playing a lot of it in the TSM Rec game. And he was kind of tearing shit up. So maybe they were blocking that. But besides that, I have no idea. I mean, it is Rec we're talking about. Well, it used to be a team of 5 fraggers, so
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just trying to beat out aggressive behavior in general. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Fultz did really well. I have a note about him. He was a top fragger, pulling out some clutches. But yeah, it went 7-2.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I think SSG deserves the win. But it should have been harder to pick. I think it should have been harder for them, in my opinion.
I mean, I was disappointed, one, that the event ended so early. I mean, they were done by like 4 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Like it did not, well, not literally. I think it was 4 p.m. their time. I mean, they were done really early here. Second map went 7-3 for SSG.
Mm-hmm.
There was one really cool play I wanted to go back and rewatch. So I forgot who it was, but it's on Consulate. A player on Reciprocity got a kill from the skylight through the soft floor into piano. It was a really
What?
cool frag. Yeah.
What?
So they like opened up that wall from skylight
Mm-hmm.
into admin, or the objective on second floor, through the
Yeah.
floor down. They got a kill onto piano.
That
was
is
pretty cool.
nuts.
It was a good frag. The only good frag they got the whole game because they lost 7-3. One note that we got during it was that Space Station Gaming won all the entry frags 12-7 at that point.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
And then Bank was
on the last
closer.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
Bank was closer. Yeah.
I think, I don't know what it is about Rec when they picked up at Bank that they got their stuff together and they were like, okay, we have to win this, but then they didn't end up winning. But I think that's the point when they were like, okay, we got to get this map, and they just weren't able to pull it off. And that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it was disappointing, to say the least.
I think the big thing to say is like Space Station came in firing, like they came up really powerful, but then so did Rec. Rec came shooting for the stars, and one of them just had to slow down at the end, and it just turned out to be Rec. So
yeah.
Other than that, anything else you want to say about USN? The event was pretty. Like I love the look. Yeah, the look was good. The casting was fantastic. Blue and Stokes covering everything was top notch.
They did really well. I mean, it was a great event to watch. There wasn't the technical difficulties we had with OGA.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have any issues watching it. It was nice. It's a nice theater. I've actually been in that theater because it's the Penn and Teller Theater.
Oh, really?
In Vegas. So yeah, it's a good spot for it.
Awesome.
Maybe next year I'll get to go. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to hit up a Rainbow Six event next year. I think they did a really good job. USN was nice. It was just disappointing. I think the really big disappointing part is not having Rogue there to hold their spot. I think that's the only disappointing part, but a lot of people from Rogue came in, so they got their chance. And Canadian got his win. The curse is over.
He did. What I saw like on Twitter is like after 1,045 days or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long time coming. So he finally gets that trophy. Hopefully he'll be able to do the same thing at Invitational. So, all right. Well,
I'd be happy if an NA team won, but I'd rather be EG. But they got to get there first.
Yep, and that's the same with good old G2. Somebody killed me.
I feel your pain, man.
Jesus, like I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier, but I was just like, "Hey G2, maybe you guys could actually like win one, maybe just for us fans, for old times' sake."
You guys had enough winning. You don't need any more winning.
I had enough winning. I started watching them at the beginning of this year, so I picked a sinking ship.
Like, the VOD still exists. You can go back and relive the highlights and the
that's
magic.
fair.
It's
like that. It's like that first scene of Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl when he's like pulling up, and it's slowly sinking, and he just steps off the very top of it. Like that was the last win they got.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to do an interesting thing here. So now that we've had our first LAN. With most of the players that have been transferred, I kind of wanted to do like a letter ranking for how we feel the move worked for each team.
That's a good idea.
So we can kind of go over the teams that were at USN and kind of cover them that way. I don't remember exactly every move that went on, but I think I've got a pretty good idea of what's going on. So just to kind of go down the list, Sonics didn't have a move. Tempo I can't remember. I don't think Two-Face moved at all. I don't think so.
I don't think they did. I think they just changed orgs, right?
Yeah, they just picked up Tempo.
By an org,
yeah, Tempo Storm. So we've got SSG who didn't change anything, so we can't grade that. But we have Dark Zero. And go ahead and what do you think?
I mean, if we're going strictly off this performance, I mean, so I guess is this traditional A is awesome to F is like, what the hell are you doing? You shot
Right.
yourself in the foot.
Yep.
C, if we're just going to base it on this one performance, I mean, because they had a really good map on Villa. They almost won it. They crapped the bed on Coastline. That being said, they did go against a team that won it all. So, I mean, maybe C plus, I guess.
I'm also going to have to go with a C, but I'm going to lean more towards a C minus. And I have a much more negative spin to it, where it's like, you guys picked these people up. You won. Everyone knew you won the NA Shuffle. Step it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is old Dark Zero shit, right? This is the Dark Zero that did not go to grand finals in Japan. This is Dark Zero that went to Valencia. This is Dark Zero that went to Milan. It's Dark Zero that went to Milan out in quarters. It's like, step it up. We cannot have another Dark Zero that does this again. It's really disappointing. So, I'm gonna have to give it a C minus. I still think they're good players. I think that it's a good move. But at the end of the day, I've got to see something from them, you know? It's the same that I said with EG last week. It's like, I got to see something from them. And I'll eat a tomato. And I'm not eating a tomato.
You're not. I do think we saw something from them, but I guess we'll get to EG.
Yeah. Isn't, so EG can be next, because that'd be in the next round.
Yeah, so they swapped, so they swapped Geo for Gotcha on TSM, and they also picked up Ranger as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on?
I'm a big fan of Ranger, actually. Personally. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good guy. I don't know. I just think Gotcha's a bad pick. I just don't think he's like a caliber of player that we need, you know? I just don't think that he's a better coach, but he wants to play. It's like the opposite of BC. But then again, they don't look the worst ever. So I'm going to give him a C as well, but kind of just play some flat down in the middle. They're going to really have to work to show me something interesting, to show me something good. They're going to have to really put a good performance on. So we'll see. We'll see, but I'm going to put a C on it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be biased. So, like, the biased part of me wants to be like, oh, yeah, it's like a B or something. Because
background.
You know, I definitely, yeah, right, I know. I'm trying not to be biased, though. Honestly, I was actually impressed with their performance going against TSM. I mean, you know, they almost won both maps against TSM. I don't know enough about Ranger, so I can't really speak to like his coaching credentials. I didn't see any like dumb plays from them. To be devil's advocate for Gotcha, in Pro League, he is undefeated on EG in Pro League. I'm going to keep pulling that out. He is. On Pro League.
He played 3 games. He played 3 games.
And he didn't lose one of them. And he didn't lose a single one. No, I'm going to probably say, if I'm being fair, it's like a C. I think they lost.
Yeah.
I was actually telling my wife this the other day. Anyone who watches the league, I think EG got trade raped with the Geo and Gotcha. I mean, they lost it. It wasn't a fair trade, but
it was G2 of NA. It was G2 of NA. G2 got trade raped this season. So you're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, TSM.
I mean, I gotta give them at least higher than EG, right? Because I just said they had the better. They got the better end of it. So we'll say a B. Geo's nasty. He's a really good player. I think he just hasn't had enough time on that roster yet to really shine.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. I think I'm going to have to sit right with you. B minus, something like that. I don't want to give him too much credit because obviously they got their asses handed to them by Rec. But I think that Geo was the right pick. I think that if not Geo, somebody with experience, right? Like experience was the right pick in general. I think that's very important for them. I think that as a team, we can only watch them grow from here. Pojo Man, you know what? I completely forgot about that. Pojo Man wasn't there. because he doesn't have.
No. Oh yeah, they picked up like I don't even know who that person was. He wasn't even
played
a
in
challenge player, right?
No,
Or was
he played in USN matches for them, so they just continued with him for
okay.
the final. But yeah, Potion Man was not there to play, so that definitely takes a hit, I would think. But yeah,
Yeah, I
Geo
would
is
say so.
nasty. TSM looks good. I think TSM looks good. I think that them making it to the semifinals shows that they're doing good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Luminosity.
If I'm being honest with you, I do not even know who they picked up. Someone did not do their homework. I'm not sure who Luminosity picked up. Oh,
Slash
from
Hug.
Rogue. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's a good player. They
Mhm.
did well. I mean, I was not expecting them to do as well as they did against a team that was looking really scary that weekend.
Yep. And
Who
I
did
think
they
that we're
drop? Like, who did they lose for Slash?
Thomas on Luminosity. Honestly, I've been sleeping on Luminosity this last season. I didn't know any of the players' names. So, yeah, they dropped Thomas for Slash Hug.
I mean, I don't remember who Thomas is really because I never even watched their games, honestly, unless they're playing EG. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this.
Right. Yeah, same.
Seemed like a good pickup then.
Mm-hmm.
Give him like a
I
B,
think,
C+.
like I said earlier, I think TSM and Luminosity are in very interesting places and very similar, where a lot of young talent with picking up an experienced player to bring them more on board. So you said a C plus?
I think I said like a B- C+, yeah.
Okay. I have to give them a B on improvement. I'm gonna set it with a B on improvement because, like I said, I was sleeping on Luminosity. I did not give them a lot of credit. The last season, I didn't think they were gonna go very far. They got to 4th and then they just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. So overall, I think this is a great move for them. I think that we might actually, start getting to know the names of these players. Might actually start giving a damn about the team. And I think that's really powerful. Like, I mean, I just have to be brutally honest. I didn't care. So, it's time to start waking up on TSM, I think. Or I'm sorry, time to start waking up on Luminosity. See what they have to offer. I think yeah, B on improvement. If we're going over this specifically just from this performance, is C.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So that puts Rec next.
Who did Rec pick up?
They picked up Nyx. Nyx and Vert, right. I think.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, Vert was a great choice.
Mm-hmm. Vert worked so well with that team. And honestly, I think Nyx did too. I think everyone was kind of like, yeah, Nyx is a good player, but he's not like top notch. But I think, honestly, from what I saw, he was working really, really well in Reciprocity. If I had to give a letter grade, honestly, an A-. Like, I think like it was a good pick for them, and I think they showed up 2 out of 3 days.
Yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah. I didn't know if they were gonna get any A's, but I gotta agree with you. Yeah, they really I can't let that last performance poop all over there. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Like they played their hearts out day 1 and day 2, and they were looking terrifying.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with you. It's a good choice.
Sitting on A-. So Rec wins so far.
As far as shuffle
of the NA shuffle right now, what we can see, we got Rec wins. So okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next talking point. And that is just kind of a quick note before we go into the bigger talking point. The online quals are going on right now. Actually, EG is playing Rat Pack right as we're doing this podcast. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that and Strafe.
Is this being streamed anywhere?
So if you're a Challenger League streamer, there's some Pro League streamers that are streaming these, but it just kind of comes down to them doing it on their private channels. So it's tough to find. G2 lost a secret, so they're in the losers bracket now. So please, EG, or fucking hell, Please, G2, win one, please, just for your fans. Do it for old time's sake, please. Um, no, but the online quals are going on right now. I'm sure once we get more to like, once everything's knocked down a little bit more, and we know what teams are going to be going into like the semis and the finals, we'll talk a little bit more on that. But right now, that's what's going on in the Siege community. Most of the teams are playing in the online quals that don't have their spots for invitational.
Oh, did I see that APAC already did theirs? And I think it's Cyclops. I don't even think Noarango is going to be at the SI.
So sad. I don't know for sure. Probably that sounds about right.
I feel like
Cyclops was looking a lot better. Wildcard was looking good. Aerowolf, but obviously Mentalist left. So it is sad to see Noarango, but that's actually something I completely forgot to add to our docket. I saw that Noarango is looking for a new coach. I think that the owner is not coaching anymore because I know that he did owning and coaching.
I don't think he coached. I think he was a hype man.
Yeah, that's honestly that's what it was.
I remember his name, Shinzoku.
Yeah,
I think he's just a hype man.
Kazoku.
Yeah, I don't think he actually awesome guy, super nice. I got to meet him in Raleigh, but no, I don't think he actually coached. I'm pretty sure he was just their super relaxed hype man.
Hype man, yeah, and he did a great job at it.
He did.
It was beautiful, but
he's a national treasure, international treasure. But yeah,
he is indeed. It is sad to see that Noarango is not going because like the entire team matched that energy, right? Like that's what was beautiful about watching Noarango in the invitationals last year was just like, yeah, they didn't go too far, but their energy was awesome. It was just good to be a part of. So I hope that some team is going to pick that up and bring that to the next invitational because I think it's needed. Because you got like G2, which is the exact opposite end of that, right? Where it's like G2 is a super serious team. Everyone talks about how toxic their comms are and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know. We need something light as well. Yeah. It's sad to see them not making it.
I just hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm correct that they got knocked out and it's Cyclops.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. Okay. One more thing to cover in the Pro League scene, and this is actually kind of a big move. We got our updates for the new season 11 coming out, and of course we got Goyo and Amaru coming in. But the big stuff, the big two we got to cover is NA and EU are now going from 8 teams to 10 teams, and that is nuts. What are you thinking?
I wish they gave us more information on it. Actually, on my stream, I'm going to pull it up and read it real quick, just for anyone who hasn't seen it. Europe will increase from 8 to 10 the number of teams involved in the 6 European Pro League. This means there will not be any relegations on season 11. Regarding 2 Pro League remaining spots, they will be filled by season 11 Challenger League teams. The system qualifying these 2 teams in the Pro League will be communicated later on. And then for NA, they're expanding, like Mop said, 8 to 10. Among these changes, the Pro League season will not be played for promotion/relegation. Stay tuned for more announcements. So does this mean the 2 teams that were relegated are back in? So does that mean Sonics is back? Does this mean they're going to do some other system to figure out
what I'm having trouble understanding is, and I need to check Twitter because I'm sure everybody's talking about it. What I'm having trouble understanding is, do those teams move into the season 11 or do they move into season 12? Because I can't quite figure it out. Because it's not super clear. It says there's no relegations. So does that mean 2 teams are just going to be moving in at the beginning of the season? Or does it mean that 2 teams will get picked up at the end of the season? I really don't know. But I mean, do you think it's a good change? Do you think it's a bad change?
So I wish I knew what was actually happening. So Fox A actually tweeted out earlier this afternoon, I see a lot of crybabies saying, quote, wow, nice, no relegations. Now I can't get into Pro League. Most teams don't have relegations. Stop whining like a baby who thinks they deserve a spot at the top and prove you deserve the spot. We all don't know everything coming in the future. Amazing changes are coming. Don't be negative about them. Grind and perfect your craft, and you could be one of those 2 teams. Maybe you can wait and see what Ubi has in store for everyone. Don't worry about what's going on. If you're still practicing to get better, it won't matter. So there may be stuff that we're just not aware of, right? I don't know. No, I like
It
more
sounds like
teams.
Foxay knows something. That tweet says a lot of, I know what's going to happen. Stop worrying.
Yeah.
To me.
In theory, I like more competition. I like more teams. Um, if there's never relegate, because it doesn't say there will never be relegations. It was just saying this next season. So I
Correct.
imagine after they fill back up to 10 and have a season of that, maybe it'll get back to the relegating so you can have new blood coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone speculating online that they may be moving to a franchise model where you'll have the same X teams always in and it's just the players switching.
Oh God, I
I saw
hope not.
something of that.
Oh God, I hope not.
It's all speculation. I mean, there's no
That'd be
evidence to support
awful.
that.
I don't think Siege has set themselves up in a way where the franchise model would actually do any good for them, and I don't think Ubisoft wants that either. I think they know they have something good, and they don't want to switch it up too much. I think that's probably why ESL is still a part of it, because for all the complaining we have about ESL, they've kept it alive pretty well, and they've built a really large talent community. Like
and it's
bringing
growing
in
every year too. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. So I don't
viewership's
think
growing.
I don't think they're gonna make any huge change like that. I'd be interested to see if we're gonna go to 3 relegations from 2. If we're bringing in 2 more teams, that'd be kind of interesting. Keep 7 teams on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. So
I'm curious
Kinda
just who's going to fill those slots. If it's going to be teams that already were relegated or not.
I think if they were going to be lazy about it, it's going to be the teams that got relegated, right? So it's going to be Sonics and but we can't bring in Rogue, so it'll be somebody else.
I mean, I guess Rogue could pick up some Challenger League people.
That honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And then who got relegated in EU? It was Sisu, which is kind of a different team now, and who else got relegated?
Enough.
I remember
Penta?
Yeah, Penta. So they bring back Penta. I don't think they'll do that. I really don't think they'll do that. I think probably what's no, because they couldn't do that either. I was thinking like maybe they could bring them in the half, but that wouldn't make sense points wise. You just end up putting them in a relegation spot. I really don't know, because season 11 Challenger League does it start up right away in January? Are the Challenger League quals already going on? I don't know. I don't know enough about.
I feel like I saw something about they were coming up if they aren't already going on.
I don't know how the tier 2 system works. So if
either.
they're going on and whatever team's winning gets a chance to get into Pro League, I'm not 100%. I think it's a good move overall. I think especially for EU, NA, okay, but EU, it's a great move. I think because that gives a potential for having Secret and a couple of those other CL teams come up that are absolutely dominating, like crushing the scene. My only thing is, how are they going to make this fair for APAC and LATAM, which only have 8 teams, and bringing in 2 teams? So does that mean for NA and EU, we're going to be doing 3 spots for Pro League finals? Does that mean we're staying with 2? Because then it's like, it's not fair for the teams in last place, for the ones that are 10, and it's also not fair for LATAM with only 8 spots and APAC with only 8 spots, right? So I don't know how they're gonna do it.
And you can't argue that there's not enough supply of Latin American teams that could fill those 2 extra slots. I mean, Brazil's scene is huge.
It is, but like if you ever look at LATAM CL, which I admit I'm not very versed on, it's not crazy impressive. It like, yeah, gaming almost came up, and that's like the only team that I could think of that could help support a 10 team squad. So I don't know. I mean, like, this is coming from knowledge of looking at the stats once and not seeing a single game, so maybe I don't know anything. But I think NA and EU needed the moves. I think NA will need the move. I don't think they need it now. I think they need that move like 2 seasons from now, right? Like, they're heading in the right direction, but they're not there yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. NA's on their way up. I believe.
They did.
So,
I mean, an NA team just won a big event this weekend, so they're on their way
I
up.
wonder why. I wonder how an NA team won this weekend. It's kind of as if there were only NA teams there.
You can't take that away from us.
Hey, there were 2 Europeans there, all right? There were 2 Europeans there.
Yeah. And there's a Canadian on Team America, but it's okay.
You know what? We're just going to let it slide. It's going to happen.
I do love our nice neighbors to the north.
Our nice neighbors to the north. Yeah. I've been watching like my steeping of Canadian culture has been Letterkenny lately. God, that show is so good.
Have you seen Trailer Park Boys?
No, I haven't yet.
You should check out Trailer Park Boys. It's raunchy and really funny. It's Canadian.
Okay.
It's really funny.
I'll have to look that up.
It's on Netflix.
Okay. Oh, great. That's even better because I don't have Hulu right now. Okay. One last talking point for today, and that is the leak on the stadium map. So this is the map that is supposedly going to be going into the invitational event. So last year we had the Road to SI event, which was basically what we have in Pro League now, which is pick and ban, 3-minute timers, 7-second plants, a couple other things like rule set wise. Pro League map pools. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Remove Chalet. Remove it, please.
Do it.
But like Road to SI was a great event. It did a lot of great things, brought some really cool cosmetics. I still use a lot of those. And so the stadium map is kind of more along the lines of like Showdown, where it's a brand new map. What are your thoughts on it?
So there's a really good video I was actually just watching right before this podcast by Icy Cat, and it's the same footage that all the leaks have, right? Whoever got that original footage. I'm not sure. I don't really know if I get it. So is it truly just this new map and it's a bomb mode and you have some cool new uniforms and cosmetics? Like, I don't know if there's anything else unique like we got last time with SI or with the Showdown or any of the other events. I mean, I think this really is just a new map and bomb.
I think it is new map, bomb, and cosmetics. I think I did see some leaks on cosmetics where it was like a lot of baseball jerseys, a lot of like sports types jerseys. It's interesting. I like the look of it. I think it looks good, but I hope that they're doing something a little bit newer, kind of playing with that stadium idea. Because I think that the stadium idea is really cool. It kind of makes it, you know what weirdly it reminds me of is Rocket League.
I could see that. Yeah.
Where it's like, it's got that stadium feel. You feel like there's a crowd there watching you, even though the bleachers are empty. But like the map is very uniform and it's meant to be, right? Like it's supposed to be this way specifically. I thought it was very interesting to look at.
And the map has little, like, I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but there's like little areas that you'll recognize from other maps. So like there's a couple rooms that look like a room from Old Hereford. Things like
I saw
that,
a lot of rooms that reminded
cool.
me of Canal, weirdly enough.
Yeah. I feel like some of the walls, like soft walls, had that same like logo that you saw like on Tower, maybe downstairs or Canal.
Well, there was a staircase that reminded me of Tower, actually.
Yeah.
One of the staircases in there. So
what I really want is that damn SI weapon skin from last year that I have on my Xbox account and cannot get on my PC account. That's honestly what I want.
that sucks.
That's what I want out of this event is I want them to re-release that skin. Even if it costs like R6 credits or Renown, I'm there for it. So that's what I want.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like what I've loved about these events over this last year is they've had excellent cosmetics. The game modes have been super fun. They've always been unique. You know, it's like Rainbow's Magic had super unique cosmetics, but a normal game mode. Showdown was a completely new game mode, super good cosmetics, totally new map and everything. And then Doctor's Curse had amazing cosmetics and a pretty unique mode as well. I think they've done such a good job with these events. I think that's honestly like one of my favorite things to come back to in Rainbows. Like when those drop, it's like you're gonna get a 5-stack and go play those. Like and then you're gonna grind out the extra packs, and you're probably gonna spend $30 like I did every time. I'm a dumbass.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you're supporting
but
a
they're
game
fun.
that you love, and
exactly
the game going.
And they're fun. It's like super fun. So I expect this one to be that way, and I kind of want it to be like Lucio Ball from Overwatch, where it's like, okay, this is a fun limited time event where it's like you're playing the game you normally are, but there's a super new thing that you never expected. I would love to see something like that.
I would too. I feel like this is just going to be bomb on a new map, but
I'm afraid you're right.
That's what it looks like.
Good cosmetics, because they always are. I really don't have too much of a gripe with the Siege team and cosmetics. So
now they do a good job on that for sure. They do. I guess we'll find out. I mean, this is going to be released. I mean, we know it's February 14th, the weekend of the 14th. So
okay,
that's at least SI. I'm sure this event will go on like a week or two before, or like a week.
That's what I'm guessing
after,
too.
but...
And I'm super excited for it. I think that this will be cool. Something to do during SI. Something really like I loved having the Road to SI event to play during SI. That was fun. That was really fun. Especially since I was sicker than a dog. SI was my introduction to Siege because I had the flu and I had literally nothing to do but sit there and watch the entire event back to back. So that's what got me back into Pro League. So I hope that this is going to be something like that where they come up with some really cool stuff for me to kind of pay attention to. So other than that, any closing thoughts for today?
No, I think it was good. I enjoyed watching US National.
Great event.
I will say we're going to be off a week. So the week of Christmas, we will not be having a podcast.
Yep.
But you can always still check out Mop streams. I'll be off streaming after this week until after the holiday, but I think you're still going to be on and doing stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I have 2 weeks off and I'm going to be bored out of my mind. So yeah, I'll be on.
Woo!
Yeah. So if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to type !Discord in the chat. Message either one of us. We'll get you a Discord link. Hit up our Discord. Hit up our YouTube channel. Leave a comment for us when this VOD goes out. We have a section in the Discord for podcast questions. Let us know what you guys have got. Besides that, you can catch, like I said, I'll be on next week for the most part, most of my normal time streaming, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday or Sunday. Kind of depends on what I'm doing. And then Don, for the most part, is on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a weekend day. So catch either of us on stream. Other than that, we'll be back the week after, the week of New Year. And we'll see you all next time. See ya.
Bye.